We now have one more match here at North American International Championship. Okay. One more match of players here at the North American International Championship. Depending on whether or not we get the reset, 1 or 2 sets, but it's down to the exact rematch of Grand Finals of 2019, which was our previous North American International Championship. Somehow, over the past several years where everybody's, been in the lab, the big training arc, everybody's, made changes to their team, to their styles, to their supports, and it still comes down to the exact same 2 players, Mutator from North America against Elm from Japan. And this is actually, I think, almost exactly like last year. Well, not last year, but last NAIC. This is a rematch when they're going into the Grand Finals here. Now, this isn't the Winners Finals rematch. That was with Jukum, but Elm did manage to overcome Jukum to get here, and now it'll be a rematch of the Winners Semis.
Yes, it will be. And just a reminder, Mutator was the one to win that out last time. And if Elm wins, then I'm honestly gonna be waiting for a crazy comeback. To have Elm be qualified and to come over here to America and then just win again, it's just gonna be like, wow. All right, man. Along with the prize pool and getting all that great Pokemon merch, it's just like, what more could you ask for?
Yeah.
But here, all right, we can see Elm, just taking it off. Both of these players have been, on the bench for a little bit, been able to cool off, trying to, prepare mentally for this Grand Finals match. Look at that, get your stretch on. Remember to stretch, people. It's always good for you.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you've been sitting here all day playing these games, you have to. It's actually a pretty interesting thing here. Every player has different kind of I almost want to say rituals, right? To keep yourself calm, to be in a good physical and mental position to be able to do really well here. We didn't get to see a whole lot of it because there was a lot of in-game, but Jukum, does a lot of specific breathing to kind of stay calm. You can see that Elm is always a player who has kind of taken his time as much as possible to try and kind of calm himself down, get into the right mindset, and we see that a lot. And we're for sure going to see that within this set, especially when we get into these Grand Finals type moments. But it's so cool. I mean, realistically, my favorite story of all of this, by the way, is that we've got Mutator, who is training partners essentially, or at least one of the training partners of Cloud, who won EUIC, and now both of them were in the winner's side of Grand Finals fighting against Elm, the same player. It's such a cool thing to see. It just shows how international the game Pokkén is. It doesn't matter, if you're in Germany, if you're in North America, here, if you're in Japan. It really doesn't matter because everybody knows each other, everybody plays together. It's an incredible community.
And the best showcase of that is just pretty much just looking online on the rankings for Pokkén. If you can actually see the different regions that actually have their very own ranking system, you can see all the different names of people who play Pokkén. You can get all different experiences from playing online. And with all of us being shut in for the pandemic and being able to convert to online tournaments, you can see that you can have all these similar people, the character representation, the players. They've taken all this time just to prep for this type of tournament. And oh wait, I was about to say, did he actually put on the Suicune? Because I don't believe when he went against them last time, he had the Suicune out.
He
went back to putting Aegislash back onto the team. We're going to have Mutator going in with a lead Mewtwo, and Elm going in with the lead Decidueye.
All right, and this is going to be at the final potential set of the day. We're going to have to see a reset from Elm. He's going to have to win 3 games, then another 3 games, but Mutator just needs to win 1 set of 3 games. But it's time to start Grand Finals at the North American International Championship. Mutator versus Elm.
And here we go. We already have the patient play coming from both of these competitors, just throwing out the projectiles, trying to see who's going to give way first. The barrier. That was actually looking quite like a punish, or maybe he activated barrier again. And now we're sitting mid-screen, throwing out projectiles. The 6XX, such a fast, strong move in its own right. But you know what? Mutator realizing he doesn't want to get to the corner, and a tall character like Mewtwo getting hit out with that JY, it's so fast. It's coming off the ground and being able to just cancel in the air is the benefit of playing Decidueye. Right now, Mutator in the corner, getting out of the corner again, and Elm escaping right back out. He's like, hey man, if you want to escape the corner, just know I'm going to have more area and places to move than you, all right?
Just moving the entire game back like 4 steps. But okay, finally we're seeing Mutator land some hits. Gonna get back a lot of life from winning that field phase. Had a lot of recoverable life, but with Mewtwo's damage, this could just be a few. Oh, I was gonna say a few good reads, but that was a great confirm right there. Seeing that the 2IY was being absorbed by the counterattack and going into the frenzy plant to try to either stuff it or just absorb the uncharged hit from the counterattack and hit as well. And Elm is starting off with a very strong lead here. It's probably the I want to say kind of like the least amount of damage that we've seen the lead Mewtwo from Mutator do throughout the entire tournament so far.
And that was such a great reaction coming out from Mutator. I mean, coming out from Elm, knowing that there's actually a multiple amount of hits coming from Frenzy Plant. So even if he canceled back, maybe even the amount of distance from Frenzy Plant would have actually still caught him on the way back, or even if he went forward. But right now, Mutator finding his way to get him against the wall, gonna get some nice damage from the wall splat. Canceling his way in, sidewise, such a nice mobile move. Multi-hitting CA, the tech getting in, the exchanges.
Nobody's hitting anybody. Okay, finally lands a single hit, and it's not going to be a full damage conversion, but it is going to be some really strong Oki. The counter call, I really like the counter call Krogunk against Burst, and there's no respect here from Mutator, still pushing a lot of buttons and outlasting this Burst with a burst of his own to try to close out a character here.
Now, I believe Decidueye, yes, he's high enough. Oh my goodness, that was so close. He didn't actually hold in on the JX, so he missed the punish, but he's going to use Burst attack here to actually get in with the plus frame. Oh my goodness, that 4Y was looking kind of scary, but we made it out with just the skin of our teeth. Going in, JY. And this is going to be the downfall of playing so many tall characters for Mutator. Just, you know, Aegislash, Decidueye, Aegislash and Mewtwo having to deal with the menace that is Rising JY. But right now, Mutator looking calm and collected, throwing out projectiles, shield form. Cancel the grab, gonna lock Krogunk a bit.
That was such good patience to get in from Elm, but yeah, this Krogunk is going to be pretty tough spot. Yeah, this is a pretty impassable wall. Krogunk stays out forever. Yes. You got to see some projectiles come out from Elm. I don't know if there's any other good way here. 3 seconds left. Oh, that's a land. A grab might do it here. Oh, the jabs! And that's going to be enough at 1 HP. Elm going up 2 characters.
Elm being so clutch. That was practically milliseconds away from being time and getting the last minute conversion. Oh my goodness, Chef. How does he do it?
You want to know? I mean, you can see how bad I got hit right there. I was like, a grab would do it, and then he jabs, and I'm like, oh, right. Also a jab. So you can tell exactly that I would have got hit in that exact same situation, but I mean, this is the power of a true tournament veteran. Elm been a top player for many, many years, and it shows every single time he gets to a clutch situation, and that is going to be a punish. Not quite enough, though. Calculated risk, I would say. Oh, and this is going to be a good amount of damage.
Yes.
Doesn't confirm to the 5XX. That doesn't always combo from the jump X, so just getting as much as you can safely get here.
Yes, and that's going to be the CA, fully charged. Going in with a Fury attack, and a fully charged CA will deal with it, being in the skies. Surprisingly, didn't go to the cancel, try to go to the other side, but instead trying to play it a little bit different, playing it by ear, wanting to see what he can and can't do, but it's going to be the next round. And honestly, look, it's such a climb. You have to do so much. Elm has already put in so much work with just the Decidueye alone.
Yeah. I mean, this is a great way to start off a set like this. Again, it's going to be a really long road if Elm wants to win this tournament. Elm infamous for getting second place, right? And second place at every single international in this circuit so far, and some of them last circuit. In fact, 2 of them at least last circuit, I believe. So this is a chance for Elm to break that curse or continue it. One of those two, you know. This is a 50-50 at this point, but Mutator is actually bringing this back very strongly. The counter burst from Elm is going to be huge here.
That might be a punish. It is, and he's able to get a conversion off of it. Will he activate burst? No. He wants to get the slowdown, full shift, and extra damage from the wall. Going to be able to make the approach, and Mutator having the slow debuff means that he's not going to be able to move around so much. He can take to the skies and won't affect him there, but he was on the wall spot for a good amount of time. Frogadier becoming the best friend right now, trying to hold him down, and the grab in the hands.
Yeah, this is now tough for Mutator. Doesn't have any resources left, and that's going to be a huge conversion. Not quite enough. It's going to be one more, I believe, to close this out. Doesn't quite get a debuff, doesn't get an enhance off of that. Still going to hold the enhance for a little bit. It's not even going to matter. There's only 22 life left.
It's going to be 22 life left. Oh, but the spark from out of nowhere downtown. Elm taking game 1 here in this grand final set. Elm, he's probably, I'm saying probably, he's definitely looked over the matches versus Mutator. He's probably been reminiscing about that all this time, and he probably has a background plan just to deal with his entire team. If not, you know, if Mutator decides to change up. Mutator does go with the same characters he was going before. Doesn't want to pull out the Shadow Mewtwo. I really wonder why. His Shadow Mewtwo is just as strong as Elm. Maybe, you know, at like good amount. I wonder if he can actually hear me. He looks like he's going like, maybe. But yes, in its own right is actually a threat. So for probably going for more HP on his side is the reason why he might actually be holding off the Shadow Mewtwo.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing too is that Shadow Mewtwo just puts up another tall character in your team potentially. It really depends on which spot you're going to replace it with, and you've got to like make a tough decision. And
yeah,
it looks like we are actually going to stick with the same starter here with the normal Mewtwo. Got bullied a little bit by this Decidueye last time. Elm, of course, sticking with Decidueye as a lead. Decidueye, another one of those characters that's pretty good on every slot on the team, but I think especially a lead. Doesn't have a whole lot of matchups that you just don't want to run into. So let's see if Elm can continue this momentum, or if Mutator has just a gameplay answer here to try to deal with this bird.
Yeah, dealing with the bird in the air is what you're going to definitely have to do. These characters have such great mobility, but Decidueye just has so many other buttons to do in the air and convert into a combo. Right now, that's what Mutator is doing. Put him in the corner, and we have an unfortunate drop, but picking it up right after the Oki 5X Fire Spin. Going to cover some of your vision a bit. It's so huge. It's so hard to see with it on the screen. And Mutator, the pressure, the staggers, barrier, canceling, getting hit by the fully charged CA as well. And Elm being on the offensive, grab, back up, give me my space, give me my 6 feet, sir.
Undoubtedly, we're going to see a burst. Okay, well, yeah, actually, exactly as I said, a backwards burst. He used his wings and like pushed him backwards. That was really funny to look at. But Mutator, not going to respect it. Of course, Mewtwo, you know, one of the best characters at fighting burst without actually having a buff or burst himself.
Having a heavy that is JY is such a privilege, but this is going to be a beautiful conversion from Elm. Going to hold back the Sylveon for a bit. It's the debuff is definitely going to go away before Sylveon goes on, but it's going to make sure that he doesn't get any extra increase in that situation. But look at this damage.
Yeah, also just kind of had to use Burst there, because Burst is just running out right now, right? There was not another opportunity to use it, so a little bit of a weird scaled combo. Still did a good amount of damage, but Elm, great recognition on using the Burst that late in the combo when he could. And now this is getting pretty close to 1 hit apiece. Elm, though, is within range, so the damage could be pretty significant off of a big conversion.
And that's unfortunate. The 8Y not catching the multi-hit variant, but that's still a good amount of damage. 4 seconds left on the clock. Mutator could back away, but no, he decides to stay and fight. You're going to approach me, better believe I'm going to put something for you to fight.
And actually, that was really scary. I'm pretty sure that Elm actually dashed through a 2Y and with the Ghost Dash, which was pretty scary. But Mewtwo's like, okay, never mind, I'll just throw another 2Y. And it totally worked. But okay, clearly, the adaptation has been made without having to switch characters or supports or anything like that. And just played it better. And it worked out very, very well. But now we're going to see the switch over to the Libre. And Libre, we actually saw this Mewtwo do very well against the Libre in the winners semifinals match between these two.
And if you actually saw, Krogan is on deck. He could, with the right situation, the right timing, he can actually get an Oki setup with the Fire Spin and Krogan to actually get an unblockable situation. And if I believe it does work on a character with a normal shield health, such as Pikachu Libre, but we're going to have to find that out later. The hard knockdown Krogan going to add a little bit of spacing. There's that little bit of space, and it's going to stop him from getting such a hard knockdown combo. Mutator going to have not KO'd yet, but trying to find a way to tack on as much damage as possible. Just a single hit with that defense debuff doing so much. And Elm tried to press him between. Mutator finding a little bit of luck there that Elm wants to be a little bit antsy, and I don't even know what happened. He looked like he was having a little bit of spacing there, but maybe the exhaust stopped Elm for what he was doing in unfortunate turn of events.
Yeah, or maybe he was sitting there waiting for something else to react to, but just the 2Y just comes out and it's like, hey, wait a minute, that's pretty far. But now, yeah, we're seeing the other direction, right? We saw 2 characters go down to 1 on the side of Elm last game, and now this game, it's going to be the Mewtwo taking out 2 characters straight. So really, this is, again, shows how strong both of these players are and that it can realistically go either way very easily. But now, Elm's going to have to make a 3-character comeback. Very doable with Shadow Mewtwo.
Indeed it is, but right now he has to actually get rid of this Mewtwo, which has been a staple this whole entire time. The clean 8Y under his own 8Y, 8-1, 8Y prime, the damage and reset. This is looking like an already KO'd Shadow Mewtwo, and it's up to Elm to try to find a way to deal with it, and he does. Getting the KO, finally getting rid of this Mewtwo, but it's still a long road ahead, Chef.
Yeah, look at all that recoverable life. And it's like almost half of half of Shadow Mewtwo's HP. But now look what happens to it at the start of this next round.
But
the answer is it disappears, and you just no longer have it. It's very, very painful to watch. But you're going to get a little bit of life back. We're just going to have to see a style, I think, from Elm where it's just like, yeah, I'm just going to mix you up over and over, and you're not going to get a chance to play because there's not enough life to really do too much else, I think. Especially when you're against H/Slash where kind of a stray hit might do it here.
Yeah, especially with him having the ability to, when he's in sharp, which is anytime, doesn't
like
even gonna matter.
Yeah.
With punish coming from Mutator, making it look easy in dominant fashion, going up a game against Elm. And honestly, it's just normal play. It's when you're so far ahead, you realize you don't have to overextend. You can let your opponent come to you, slow down the match, and if anything crazy happens, then you know you have another character in the background to solidify your W. And that's exactly what Mutator did there. Always drinking your water, taking some time to break in between. It's very important.
Yeah, staying hydrated. I stay dehydrated to do this commentary. We need as much energy as possible here.
Yes, especially if these competitors go tick for tack, game for game. We're going to be here for a long time. You know what? I'm here for it. Show me more Pokkén, baby. I love to see it.
You see, that's how much Elm loves Pokkén, right? He's going to reset the bracket so that we get that many more games. Plus, he's going to get into top 4 so that we're getting an entire extra 3 out of 5 set. This is entirely all because of Elm, right? This is the end game plan for Elm. Let's just get more Pokkén, and I love it for it. But here we go, Elm and Mutator starting off with the same characters again, and now we saw it go 1 for 1 here. Wow, that was actually a punish. That was a critical hit.
It was from really far distance, but Frenzy Plant being able to catch that, and Elm being able to catch this anti-air conversion. Hard knockdown, fire spin. He's a little bit close. Oh, and that was such a beautifully delayed barrier to catch it for the confusion, or I should say the telekinesis, and now he's in the corner. Another anti-air. Mutator is on point with these conversions, and look at that, a little bit of extra HP to tack on. All right, and air, oh my goodness, just take it to the skies, being able to dive down on Mutator. He knows he has to deal with the anti-airs enough to actually, you know, get a conversion, but he looked like he's going to change up his air-to-air timings to actually be successful. But Elm is not going to work to his favor too much, as Mutator is able to get a KO on the Decidueye.
Yeah, Mutator hasn't given Elm as many opportunities to kind of do a lot of instant jump Y stuff, which of course can be very, very difficult to deal with. But also using that barrier to just such great effect. I mean, barrier is a ridiculous move. It's like one of the longest duration counters that you can end at any point with a command grab or a hit, or or just like a safe hit that goes far. Like, there's a million things you can do out of it. It's a pretty good move, especially if you're good at playing Mewtwo.
It's a better counter than Mewtwo's own counter in its own right. But right now, it's more about, oh my gosh, the long distance. You want to talk about things that are good? The long extended range of Mewtwo's arms when he gets that grab. But he tried to actually do a little bit of a shield poke. The Oki Frogadier, what's going to be the guess, hitting him on the end and being able to cancel. Look at this exchange here. A bit of a scramble coming from both of these people, but able to get a turnaround fire punch, putting Elm into the corner. It's hard to even see that often, and nice the punish.
You gotta love any combo in a Hyper Beam. That is always the coolest thing in this game. It was one of the first things that I saw, and I was like, no freaking way.
That's why they call it a Hyper Beam. You know, you gotta make sure it's actually looking good. And right now, looking good is this corner pressure, backing off, getting the spacing. 8Y finally, stop going to that well, my friend. You're gonna meet me in the skies, I'll meet you there too. And gonna put on this slow debuff, putting him closer to the corner, and Frogadier back again. And hitting out the vulnerable frames of that 4Y, the anti-air electro web. You cannot escape, especially with how big that command grab is. It hits on the ground and in the air, and it confirms in the air as well. Not unlike most command grabs in the air where you can't hit it on the ground. It's such a good thing to have.
Yeah, that's just you know, you literally like casts a wide net, right? Like it covers so many options. It literally and figuratively both cast a wide net. But that's the power of Libre. It's been a long time since I've seen such a high up character be hit by Electro Web. But that is very much the Libre classic, and it's it's such a scary option. You've seen people anti-air with it. It's yeah, it's good. But that does mean we're pretty much tied up here. Elm gonna be just barely enraged, which is, again, I think kind of an advantage rather than having like 30 more HP at this point.
Ooh, and he was almost ready against that CA using a multi-hitting move such as 4Y. Gonna activate Sylveon. Wants to make sure if there's a situation where he does activate Burst, it's not gonna be a crazy amount of damage just like this. Sylveon is gonna come into play, but Rage is kind of, you know, just taking away. Yeah, it's kind of negating that idea, but it could have been a lot more if he didn't have Sylveon. So good stuff to Mutate for actually activating it early, but activating Burst, that defense buff. Oh, the mix-ups from Frogadier, such a great offensive tool. And look at this, hard knockdown. You are in a sticky situation, running it back. That's definitely gonna be a KO.
This Mutator is now reliving the moment against Jukum in the winner's final set. That very first moment, it's like, was that 3 Electro Webs in a row? And yeah, Elm clearly finding some sort of pattern here. Like, yeah, I think you're gonna start respecting me now. And I'm right. And you can see exactly how much damage Libre's Electro Web can do. This is why Libre is one of the scariest mix-up characters in the entire game. Not only does it do that much damage, it leaves you with a slow debuff so that she can just get in and mix you again. What a character, but you can see why, of course. You know, you want this type of character on a 3v3 team because you can have that little amount of life. And look, you even gain more life. Start out this round with more life than they start out the last round with.
And look at that, being a 150cc character. Ooh, the parry getting started. It's not going to be a KO because the combo started with a parry, but it's going to be a great amount of damage, and it's going to get Mutator an attack buff. But activating Burst, now this is definitely scary. Any amount of damage here is going to be immense, especially with the Rage. All right, this is a start, and have to stay here.
Electro Web. What a hit, what a hit, that's all I'm going to say. Oh, the Krogunk, I like this. Defense down.
Oh my god, the evasion!
No way! I've never seen that.
Yes, that makes plenty of sense. In the air, while Libre can actually cancel her dash in the air, there also does have iframes on it. So using that to activate the Krogunk and then getting out of there in a moment's notice is so smart on Elm's end. But unfortunately, Mutator you know, he's like, all right, that was cute. Anyway.
Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, there was a little bit more damage, I think, added on because of that, but that is so sick. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen somebody try to outplay and avoid a Krogunk support. What is this game that we're playing now? We just learn new things and see new things every single day, every single tournament. But here we go. Still only one character left on the side of Mutator, right? It's just going to be this this Aegislash that's left. So we are going to see, I think it was down to about half HP. Sorry, I'm freaking out so much about that. The fact that you can actually avoid Krogunk in the air that I've never seen before. Yeah, so it's going to be down to just one to one here.
Yes, and this game is so important. Both players sitting at a game apiece, and this is going to be where the momentum shift happens. Whoever gets this game will be one game closer to either a reset or taking the tournament entirely. And it looks like Mutator is going to be a little bit more closer than that, being able to get a nice damage combo and a grab. He's so close to taking this game. 42 HP on Elm's end, but that EV activation means that a singular combo could actually kill.
Oh my gosh, tried to CA through the armor breaking 4X. That was actually really scary. I'm not sure what that reaction was. But, oh, just needs to get one hit. Any single hit from Elm and you're going to be okay. Didn't even commit to the flamethrower right there. Try the entire, what a bait from Mutator to take game number number 3.
Iron Head being a move that you can charge along the way, and you can actually anti-air it, but he can also instantly cancel it to get into shield form stance. In that very moment, Elm, being such a great player that he is, he reacted, thinking that if it's going to be extended all the way out and reach him, he has to anti-air it. But it's like the I know you know I know situation.
Yeah.
If you know I'm gonna do Iron Head and I know you're gonna anti-air it, I'm gonna cancel and bait it out. And that's exactly what Mutator did.
Yeah, that's just like a straight up mix-up that just doesn't work on bad players, you know, or even sometimes mid-level players, because they're just not going to react to that fast enough anyway. You're saying like, oh yeah, I know that you're really good, and I know that your reactions are really good, so I'm gonna take advantage of that basically. But yeah, exactly like you said, like a I know you know. But that means that this is a now tournament point game for Mutator. Mutator just needs to win one more game. Elm was really close there. That was just a really good Aegis-slash round. It really seemed like, I mean, Elm very much had an advantage in that final round, but the fact that Mutator was able to close it out without ever giving a Shadow Mewtwo burst, which is very difficult to do, that was huge. I think if Elm plays exactly like he did in that last game, doesn't let that Aegis-slash run away with things, he can tie things up here, but I mean, Mutator wants this.
Yes, he does. And what's been really a staple change is how Mutator has been using Mewtwo to deal with this Decidueye. At first, during Game 1, it was a situation where he was getting pestered by air shenanigans from Decidueye, but instead he's been able to, pick and choose where he wanted to put his buttons and try to actually cover space. Ooh, that was a little bit late on that punish, but we still get a grab. Is Elm gonna tack on that support debuff and the Oki Spirit Shackle? A perfect block coming in from Mutator and is gonna be able to punish the homing. Ooh, that 2Y almost getting hit. The punish.
No, just the straight up 8Y works. Yeah, I was expecting maybe an instant air dash jump Y, but if it hits, it hits. You just don't really get very much off of it. So.
And here we go again with the instant jump rising JYs from the Decidueye. Was a staple in the first game before, and Elm, this time didn't go to it so much. Now he's picking and choosing where he actually wants to do it. And Elm does have a full burst at the ready. Mutator gonna get on some rage damage, wall splat. Mutator is so optimal. He knows these combos in and out.
I mean, both of these players, they're such smart players, right? I mean, it just, oh my gosh, that was a reaction right there. You don't just throw that out for fun, that was saying, oh, I see the CA, I'm gonna punish the CA. Actually, I think this person's attack was blocked. It's gonna be plus some blocks still. Oh, the patience.
The patience, yes. Trying his best to escape from the corner, but the spacing was a little bit better on Elm's side, being able to back away from that JX, and that's usually what's kind of scary about fighting Mewtwo in the air. When it comes to JY and that JX, you never really know entirely when he's gonna do that JX. Sometimes if you see the JY, it most likely means you're gonna get hit out if you cancel into JX, and he can delay into JX anytime he wants. But Elm staying calm, walking back, getting the punish, or I should say it was actually just a grab on the counterattack on the way down.
Good read, waiting for the right moment, saying, I'm going to wait for so long that you think it's your turn to do something, and it's not going to be your turn to do something. But here we go. This Elm Decidueye is looking so good in this set in particular. I mean, it's a funny way to end that combo, but we see already, it's actually evening up life against Mutator's Decidueye.
And doing it so fast, but Mutator realizing, all right, we're going to have to stop this show at some point. Burst is available for both of these people. The crossover JX, not the delayed JX, but it's not going to be able to convert into dual phase. Eevee going to get back a little bit of HP, and Spirit Shackle getting rid of those projectiles. We now have an Arrow Fest, marksman for marksman, show for show, but Mutator being the star of the show going to actually go on to field phase, and Crogun's going to be a little raw. Elm just wanted to take it, but unfortunately it's going to just make Mutator a plus in that situation, and it's going to actually KO Decidueye, or I should say Elm's Decidueye.
Yeah, I love that counter call Krogunk. It's really cool because it times perfectly where like you can act again even if you get hit by the burst wave and you're just barely plus. So it really does let you take your turn. Plus it gives them, of course, the defense down debuff, or they respect it and it's still your turn. But great way to turn that around, and honestly that wasted a lot of meter for Elm. Bursted and then literally did nothing with it. Mutator has full burst here, so if he uses it early and manages to take out this Libre, he's stealing the lead back very convincingly.
Yeah.
Or maybe he doesn't even need a burst to do it.
Right now, I'm just going to go ahead, put him in the condo, hard knockdown. Oh, God, this is a guess. A little bit too early on that command grab. It would have been amazing damage if Mutator got it. But Elm finding his way out of the corner. We're gonna see a little bit of signs of life, and the hamster ball going in. He's on the, he's stepping on the gas pedal, and he could activate burst if he wants to. But Elm, I would think that wants to hold it. Yes, wants to wait until the plus frames of this burst attack end.
Wait a little bit longer even. I'm surprised. Actually going to be able to take it, I think, here. Oh my gosh, that defense buff meant a ton.
Yes,
even with an attack buff.
All right, going on the other side, 6x, grab. Again, as much damage, the more damage this goes on. Rage has made that so much damage as well. And another grab going, bringing it back.
Okay, yeah, finally we're gonna see the burst. I think maybe it should have been activated. Like what you said, you know, at the plus frames of the burst attack would have been a pretty quick time to do it, but now,
oh my goodness, it was about to be a beautiful bait and a reactions, realizing that Sucker Punch was gonna be a little bit too late there, being able to charge CA on the way down and punishing it.
Yeah, and now, again, it's going back down to Mutator's final character, which we did see in the last game, and it did manage to pull it back. There's not going to be a lot of life on this Libre. It's not going to start off with burst or anything like that. So, you know, a quick, good field phase into, like, maybe one hidden duel phase could be enough. The question is, can Mutator find it? And then can Mutator play basically just as well against that Shadow Mewtwo in the very last, like, 1v1 situation? Not going to be in Rage on Elm's side, which is a pretty big downfall here. Means you might actually technically take more damage just even from this first hit.
And right now he's taking a little bit of damage, hits in there, and nice. Last time we saw the interaction between how Aegislash would interact with certain CAs, and if it's delayed enough, can actually just do fully charge against King Shield. And Elm realized that pretty early and decided not to go in too fast, but hard knockdown here for Elm, deciding he doesn't want to deal with the situation. Krogunk wants to put on that defense debuff. It means a good amount of damage if he does hit him. Oh my goodness, like I said, that came into play again. The air dash iframes coming out to actually avoid that projectile. Yeah. And right now, last character apiece. This is Elm's final lifeline, or I should say, it's what he needs to continue on to that next game. Mutator sitting at match point, can win it all with just this last character.
And there's full synergy on the side of Mutator and almost none on the side of Elm. Of course, it's Shadow Mewtwo, but we saw this exactly happen in the last game. Mutator made all the right calls and stopped Elm from ever getting that synergy. One good read is all it takes to stop that on this side, but Mutator wants to end this right now. There is still a chance. Oh, the crit to Y. This is at least going to be burst versus burst.
Burst versus burst indeed, but right now you already see that Mutator's burst has already been down 50% already, and he's gonna have to deal with Elm being at full. Oh my gosh, the back part of the JX, the chip.
That's so scary. That's
and look at this, 5 HP, 9 HP with the activation of the Sylveon. It was fully charged. Unfortunate for Mutator. The full charge variant of JX from Shadow Mewtwo and both variants of burst and non-burst will counter pierce. He tried to react on a little bit to see if Elm would actually give the quick variant where it's just going to be the projectile, not going to be a counter pierce, but right there he charged it all the way. Your back is against the wall, and he tried to do his best to cover everything.
Yeah, it's honestly so difficult for certain characters. I mean, we mentioned this earlier, but to anti-air the fully charged dive kick, even if you see it coming, even if you're like, oh, they're charging dive kick above me, then burst. Because, you know, either your 8Y is a little bit weird, like Aegislashes, or it's a projectile, like Empoleons, or there's just a bunch of different ways, but that was so well played by Elm. And again, it came down to the same situation, but Elm just ended up, you know, choosing right in more situations. And I love the fact that Mutator tried to stop that before the burst came into play, but just it was a correct guess on like a grab and then like a whiff punish, and that's all it took. And so we are going down to game 5 here. If Elm wins this one, it's going to be a reset, and if Mutator wins this one, then it's going to be the tournament.
Yes, and we're competing here for first place here. And honestly, it's just been a crazy ride. Mutator taking the time to actually slow down the pace early in the match, going in with a homing. And look at this, the spacing. CA gonna make it a charge situation. And look at Mutator pressing buttons. Okay, show me the old school Mutator. Go ahead and do that for me, please. Fire spin, gonna cover his vision just a little bit, throwing out everything in the kitchen sink. Projectiles on top of projectiles, homing, the pressure, backing out, barrier, hyper beam, And look at that damage.
Oh, plus, on top of that, now you have to fight through a defense buff as well. Oh, wow, managed to get over the 8Y. That could have been a full combo. Didn't expect it to hit. Now that backdash is getting slightly punished. Mutator is going to take the very first character very quickly. This is almost going to be a 100% health Mewtwo going back into this next round.
But look at that. Like, that's how you know the change is there. The adaptation is there. They were already going tick for tat, but now it's up to Mutator. Mutator, he did this with least amount of health being used, and Sylveon, you gotta think Sylveon is actually doing a good amount of work. Anytime where he's seen like, all right, it looks like Elm can do a large amount of damage here, Sylveon is there to back him up, giving a little bit of HP and being able to give him that defense buff as well. Especially if he's getting hit, it's just gonna make Sylveon's buff stay on longer, and Mutator being able to recognize that is what's really important.
Well, already starting off with hitting a projectile here, but not going to get a huge amount of damage off of it, of course. You just want to get as much damage as you can. Again, reading the grab correctly, getting that critical, which of course is going to give you a little bit more meter too, as it's slowly starting to build up for Mutator. Ooh. You don't want to see a Mewtwo get full meter. That means you've done something incorrectly.
That means you're put yourself in danger, Chef. But right here, Mutator was trying to be a little bit on the aggressive side, but Elm is finding a way to fight back. 8Y taking to the skies, trying to get into mid-stage, just so that way he has a little bit more coverage. Barrier to confusion. Again, the just frames. Look at this conversion and the reset. Adding on chip, doesn't want to deal with it.
Yeah, I love that reset with the jump A. It's one of the coolest things. His meaty, it's going to be plus on block, but yeah, that burst was saying exactly like you said, I don't want to deal with it. I need to start making this comeback. I cannot go down 2 characters in what is tournament point here. This is my last chance, my one chance to make it back and reset this. And so we are seeing the offensive start.
Look at that. That was nearly unblockable. The Frogadier making on so much pressure, but not phasing Mutator. He can, look at that, the Oki 8X, being able to just cover it. You know what? When you've already done so much work with Mewtwo, you might as well do it. It's seeing the blood in the water. He knows he can taste it. Mutator is right there, and he's put Elm on his last character, the Shadow Mewtwo.
And the Shadow Mewtwo has to make a miracle happen. This has to be a 3-character comeback. We can see that Elm is trying to stay focused here. This is going to be one of the most difficult things that you could possibly have to do when you not only do you have to do this, you have to reset, you know, and then win another full set. There's so much ahead of you, but I believe, I was saying it before, Elm, I truly believe that his Shadow Mewtwo is his best character. The problem is, it's not a character you can make a lot of mistakes with, or almost any mistakes, and there are a lot of choices you have to make correctly. That's a great way to start it off.
And right now, what's going to be mainly important is if Elm can actually do these things without losing so much HP. But right now, that's already what's happening. The rage is becoming already in effect. And look, he can't press too many buttons with Krogunk in his face. Look how much damage has already been on. This is the wall splat. 30 extra damage, 20 HP. Mutator is already going to take it. He will be your North American International Champion 2022 for here in Ohio, Columbus. Congratulations to Mutator, and along with that, Elm getting 2nd place here.
The repeat champion, the defending champion from 2019, our previous NAIC, will be the champion again. And in fact, Elm also holding the 2nd place spot. I cannot believe that it's a complete rematch, and we actually are going to get the exact same placements, but well played by both players so much, and I'm so glad to see that everybody is back up to this level. I think this is the strongest that we've ever seen NA. I think that Elm is still continuing to be a force to be reckoned with, and I think the experience that he's gained by now, actually we can confirm Elm has gotten 2nd at every single international of the season, Oceania, Europe, and now North America. But that means that he has all that next experience going into Worlds, where he's of course already qualified. He's been qualified for years now, literally. But that is so great to see. I think especially just the skill of NA that we got to see today is something that I wasn't sure exactly how it was going to play out, but it was very impressive. I could not believe it.